Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Transmedia Arts Seminar. My name is Magda Romanska, and I co-chair the seminar with my colleague Ramona Mons. Today, we are welcoming Tadashi Kudo from TeamLab. We are thrilled to have him to give a lecture. I will pass on the baton to my colleague Ramona to introduce TeamLab to our listeners.
All right, welcome everyone, and welcome to Takashi. Thank you so much for making the time. So TeamLab is an international art collective, and they're operating at the sort of interstices between performance, exhibition, and visual arts, and their collaborative practice seeks to navigate art, science, and technology, as well as the natural world. And so they're working as part of an interdisciplinary group of a variety of specialists and experts that include artists, programmers, engineers, animators, mathematicians, and architects. And so in their work, they're really trying to explore the relationship between of the world and the individual, as well as different forms of perception and the question of immersion, obviously, as well. I think technology obviously is a key part of their work, but it's not necessarily only the most important part, but it's like how technology sort of helps us kind of situate again how we exist in the world and relate to it metaphorically as well as physically. Their work has been exhibited around the world, including New York, London, Paris, Singapore, and Beijing. Their large-scale permanent exhibitions and works are exhibited at places such as the Museum of Contemporary Art in LA, the Art Gallery of New South Wales in Sydney, or the Asian Art Museum in San Francisco, as well as the Asia Society Museum in New York. So we're really excited to have you, and thank you so much for taking the time to kind of introduce us to your practice and to tell us more about how you work, and especially this obviously this part of collaboration and interdisciplinary working is really exciting to us. So I'll hand it over to you, Takashi, and thank you so much for being here.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, that's great. Hi, this is Takashi from TeamLabs. It's actually it's one of this member of this TeamLabs, and it's quite a pleasure to be on these sessions. And I'm sorry about that. It's like I have like a heavy like an allergy of this pollens. So it's my throat and it's my nose is a little bit messed up right now. So it's a bit hard to hear it's my English, but it's I hope people can understand. So anyway, today I try to introduce it in a couple of it's in our work and introduce it in some like in a philosophy, or it's like something that we discovered through the process to create this our output. And it's like maybe it's a new concept. It's now we are working with that is like maybe today's like main purpose for these presentations. But it's for myself. It's very much it's keen and excited to talk with the peoples. So if you have any questions, please just let me know, and I would love to talk after this with you. Yeah. So of course, I try to show our work. Sorry. So the first one is actually it's called TeamLab Borderless in Tokyo's. We actually closed on last August, but it's gonna be open to it's a more like in a downtown in Tokyo. So it's when you have an opportunity to come to in Tokyo's, please visit place. And this space is it's very weird, and it's the first our own museums in Tokyo, like 10,000 square meters, and inside there is no map. So like all you have to do is now you're gonna walk inside, and it's walk inside, and it's walk around this whole space. And through that, it's maybe you're gonna lost actually. It's maybe first, and then it you're gonna explore it, and it's maybe you discovered something. That was it's something we wanted to do, and the concept is like exactly the like title said. It's a borderless. There is no boundary between it. Most of the things, and as we believe that it's a no boundary world. It's kind of beautiful. So like I want to show you all this like what we did. Oops, sorry. It's always it's an our work. It's sounded. Okay. So this one is in a borderless. There is so many. We opened it in 2018, and there is so many like but we cannot control them. So they're not stuck inside with the line lead. They are like the lead and the mechanism. And it's also like all the pieces it can
Takashi, we have a bit of a problem understanding you while the music is running. Can you tune it down a
Yeah,
little?
I thought so.
No
Like
worries.
it's in our work has it's a little bit too big sounds. So I will stop it. How is this? No sounds? Good.
I know, I think if you just put the sound down a little, I mean, you can obviously also do no sound, that works as well. But
Yeah, I think it's better to without sound.
okay, if you're speaking over it, then yes, probably, because it's otherwise hard to hear you.
Yeah, it's because I cannot make it like a bigger voice. It's my throat is like completely messed up with
Yeah, exactly. So for you, I'm sorry.
and it's actually you can find it in our videos, it's movies and on YouTube or it's on the internet. So I will cut. Yeah. So this is like 10,000 square meters. It's that works. And all the work is it's based on software. So we cannot control them. So they are not stuck on in one rooms, and they're moved out from these rooms freely. And also it's like all the visitors. It's going to be like one part of its like artworks. It means like it's more like interactivities and stuff. And sometimes it's like an artworks. It's gonna communicate each other's. So like it's never happened. It's in the same ways. And there is no boundary between the artworks and the artworks, and also there is no boundary between artworks and its visitors. That is like the whole concept of this Natima borders. And next one is also this is also we opened on 2018, and still now this one is it's opened, so you can be. It's called Team Lab Planets, and it's we expanded its space 2 years ago. It's made some new gardens areas. This garden is a 13,000. It's a real living orchid, and it's the beginning you feel you cannot enter because it's completely filled up of this the flowers. But if you're close to them, the flower is going up and it's making the domes at the square around you. So you can walk inside of its the park gardens freely, and the shape of the garden is going to be always changed. And this is another garden. It's like made of moss gardens. And the daytimes, you can see the moss, and it's with very weird mirage avoid. And it's night times, it's gonna be like quite different. It's like, I shouldn't say, but it's like it's look like it's like the egg of it's an aliens. And if you touch it, it make a sound, and the light resonated to the it's in a whole space. And what we wanted to make it is like something the color we cannot explain it. And also it's there is couple of rooms. It's like the planets. You're gonna travel to it's one artworks to it's another installations and another installations. And it's this in the planet, you're gonna take off your shoes and socks, and you're gonna be in barefoot. And what we wanted to do is make the people to be inside of its artworks with physical bodies, and it's more like a feeling of the like the output or its artworks. It's more like physical. There's something that we wanted to do. So like if you're gonna come to the Tokyo's, it's kind of hard to get to the ticket, but yeah, it's maybe I don't know how many people it's a listen of this session, but you can contact us and we try to make it for tours for you. And it's also I forgot it's there is very nice vegan ramen space, and you can eat ramens, it's noodles, and inside of it's our artworks. It's a little bit crazy, but it's like if you like this kind of this very weird cuisine experience, please step by. About some cuisines, there is one more. It's a restaurants in Tokyo's. It's in Ginza. It is. There is it's like a course, and it's a sub of it's some cuisines, but it's you can see it. There is some kind of design and it's motifs on in the plate or food. We sensing of that, and it's gonna be like for example like there is no butterflies on this plate, and the butterfly gonna showing up from this plate, and it's flying around the whole space, and just 8 seat per nights, so it's kind of hard to like book it. But what we wanted to do is like normally it's maybe you don't like to share the table with other people's, but when you're inside of these rooms, it's very not solid, but it's very kind of it's a mild relationship between it and other people's. And like it's you create of it's like a bird, for example, and if somebody made of this a tree, your bird gonna stop to the it's some other people's it's trees, and also it's a whole space is like every month it's gonna be changed. So like if you're gonna come to the it's on spring now is yeah, it's March. So you're gonna see it's a beautiful, it's like cherry blossoms, but it's when you're gonna come back on in the summer, you're gonna see it's completely different. Like it's more like an energy of this like sunflowers and stuff. And the autumn is also it's gonna be changed, and it's also of course it's cuisine, and it's the menu is also it's changed by like seasonal food. So we wanted to do all this like expand with its the experience of its gastronomy itself by digital technologies, and it can be it's more like interesting, and it's make a rich for its people's experience of this eating food. That is a point of this like this space, and also like as she said, it's like we are using of this quite many different type of this medias. Like sometimes monitors, sometimes LEDs, sometimes projectors, and we are using this laser and that light. And this one is we try to create this kind of sculptures made by its light. So you're going to see all this like the spheres in the middle of this space. It's kind of difficult to see it through the screens, but if you're gonna be inside with these rooms, you're gonna see that it's like a huge kind of the spheres. It's in front of or it's above of you, and we can create all this like quite many different type of this, the colors or it's different. It's a shapes, it's a size, and it's also like we use all this same technologies and like more like a moving lights, etc. You're gonna be inside of this like the sculptures made by its line of its light. So it's you're gonna feel all this. It's very much it's like an immersive experience inside of its like anonymous number of its light. And this one is it's one of my favorite, but it's super trippy. It's you're gonna be inside, and it is quite hard to explain by like 2 dimensions. It's a screens, but if you're gonna be inside, you really feel of it like you are inside of it. Like I don't know, like how do you say like some people is maybe feel of this like wormhole of this like light. And it's some people is gonna feel of this like some other things cave of this the light. And it's anyway, it's quite interesting experience. At least I really like it. Like this. So technically, it's we can show anything about it, any kind of the sculptures. If it was, it's a drawing by it lines of light. So some of them it's like foggies. Some of them it's much more like obvious sculptures, and some of them it's really weird hole or it's something. I don't know. It's not how to explain it, but something. It's we think it's a beautiful piece, and we try to create these ones, and this is a little bit weird stuff, but you can see it in Shanghai's. And also, sometimes we are creating of it's like the media itself, like that kind of that's not avoid in most gardens. And this is also it's like a lot of the spheres, and inside it's still is very light, so like floating around it in a space. So it's a space itself, it's always moving. But in the real times, we sensing of this whole spheres. So if you touch it, that bow it's gonna be it's in centers, and it's resonated to the sound and the light to the everywhere. Actually, it's what we wanted to do of this work is one, it is about some colors, and we try to use of it, on purpose. We try to use of it something colors of this, for example, like a sunset or sometimes it's a sunrise, because it's our paint is like light, so like it's not, we can explain it as something that we couldn't explain by paint, but we can explain by light. So we made it so this like kind of the new colors is also it's like something that we have very much interested in. So we made it a lot of its installations and its artworks. So it's maybe you can check out it on our website. Not much easier, but today is I try to explain a little bit. It's like what we found out. It's some kind of concept or it's not philosophies, or it's very much it's now based on in the whole our works. It's like when we started with the team labs, it was 2001, and we graduated just universities, and we started off with the team labs like 5 people's. Like everybody had its like differences background, like robotics, or like physics, or it's programmers, and still now it's as she said, it's we're a bunch of these groups, more than like 1,000 or something. And we're like CG animators and software engineers, programmers, architects, mathematicians, and yes, computer vision sensors. And we try to make a teams and let's create something. So like since we founded of this team labs, it's been 2001, and until now, still it's we are looking for it, some point, or it's like I can say it's like our aims is some kind of new relationship between its humans and the world, or including of this and other peoples. That is what we are very much interested in. And for us, it's like a digital and technology it's much more like tools and materials to express all this like some our aims. So this is so this is one of these rooms of this team lab borders as we showed. I showed it's inside with this hold this like maze. It's covered by the flowers, and they're based on algorithms. So it's we cannot control them. They just born and growing up, and it's died. And it's a cycles, but it's we cannot control them. It is like the flower in the gardens, or it's a park. And there is it's from the January to December's. So if you're walking inside with its whole space, you can see all these seasons. Like it is exactly same as like it's the flower on in the Earth. It's now in Tokyo. It's like March, but it's on the opposite side of this Earth, like Australia as it's gonna be in. Now it's summers or something, I guess. So you're gonna see of it like sunflowers. This is like maybe in the summers, but in the same times, in the somewhere in these rooms, where it's these installations, there is a spring cherry blossoms, or you can find of this some flower from this autumns, or it's the winters. And it's one more thing is if you touch them, even if there is no people, it's a flower is born and growing up and died. But if there is no peoples, you can participate, or you're going to be one part of this this work. It means that if you touch it, or if you move first, you can accelerate of its flowers. So, for example, like you can see of that, if you didn't move it and just only standings, the flower going to showing up around you. So you are creating of these flowers inside, and it's if you touch them, you're going to accelerate of their life. It means, if I didn't say it's like a romantic way, it's you're going to kill them. So like the flower is, the petal is all gone. So like the behavior of this each, like the visitors, yeah, she's killing a lot of these flowers right now, but it's quite beautiful. So like how the behaviors of this the people inside with its rooms is affected to the artworks. That is what we wanted to do. So like this, it's called it's flower and the peoples is. I remember it's the first times. Oh, sorry. The first times it we show it is it was in New York, and it's like a long time ago. It's almost 2012 or something like that. I still remember it. Now we are represented by the gallery called Pace, but that times we are just like nobody knows. But we just opened up this like one of it's the artists in group exhibitions, and it was in Japan societies. And it's we didn't expect it's the people going to come to the our exhibitions because it's nobody knows us, and it's maybe nobody has interest with it's like a digital art, something that we like. But fortunately or unfortunately, that so many people came on in the openings, and it's you can see all these pictures. When the exhibitions the opened, so many people came, and it's completely packed inside with its rooms. It is like Tokyo's. And then it's what's happened is the whole flower is died, and it didn't show up because it's too many people inside, and it's the old flower even couldn't burn it. So like it was kind of a bit scary moment, like almost 5 minutes. People were just watching of these wars, and no flowers coming. And I try to explain to the people the concept of this artworks is this is like digital flowers or it's a forest. If there is no peoples, flower gonna showing up, and it's you can see of this their life. But in the same times, it's you can some kind of it's affected to the it's these flowers. So one guy came to me and it's yeah, I understand of it's your concept, and but it's a little bit too many peoples inside of these rooms. So it means we killed all the flowers. And I said, yes, maybe. And it's a very beautiful moment. And he asked to some other people to let's make it a space for it and other people's. And it's this is group exhibition, so it's we can come back later, and it's let's make a space for it and other people's. And then the flower gonna showing up again. And it's like, at least for me, it was very much beautiful moment. And at least I felt it's something, there is a potential for its digital art, because maybe it's some art can change the people's behaviors. It's more like a little bit positives, or it's even its artworks can change its people's behaviors and its or way of thinking. So don't misunderstand. I'm not against this masterpiece. I like it. It's called the Mona Lisa. Uh, this is very famous of this like perfect beauties, and also it's so many people in front of that, and it's I like it this drawings, and it's so a couple times I saw it, I watch it, but maybe just only me, but and it's I'm evil person, so it's I felt that, but it was always it's in a same kind of situation like these pictures. What I felt is I really want to see it's these drawings, Mona Lisa's, and other people is a little bit annoyed, and I wanted to see just by myself. I really wanted to see how this Mona Lisa is me and her, and it's just watch it. There is no other people, it's taking a picture, or there is no other people's around me. That kind of a situation is not I was dreamed. Because it's I think it's a relationship between it's like Mona Lisa and me is like one by one. How I feel is very important, and it's I cannot change out it this masterpiece. I cannot of this paint on that, and I cannot change it to just half it. It is like perfect beauty, untouchables, and it's but still it's very beautiful. But the point is, when we show it, this one is it's called it Transcending the Boundaries in London's our gallery in Pace. It was almost it's like original version of this Timra Borderes. It was much smaller than it's Timra Borderes, but it's you can see of this like kind of its ideas and its concept already. And what we wanted to do is as like it's not borderless, there is no boundary between it visitors and its artworks, and also there is no boundary between its artworks and the other artworks. This work is, you can see it's quite many artwork, like flowers, and it's also some waterfalls. This waterfall is like real times. The water is flowing down, and it's just roll the floors, and you can see the water is shaped around you if you didn't move. So maybe in the persons in front of its wall is maybe she watched of its wall and its flowers and the waterfall. But it's if I became like a fourth person to be inside of these rooms, is like these three persons, it's going to be one part of this work, or it's a space. It's like a rock of its waters, like gardens, or it's water rivers or whatever. So, and it was what I felt was kind of beautiful to see it when I was enter of these rooms and it's with other people's. Some people are just watching all this, some things because that's the reason why they didn't move. And it's her behavior, it's making of this shape of this the waters. And some people is walking around so that the water is flushed away of its whole the flowers, and that is also it's kind of beautiful. So this is like the visitor is also it's one part of its the artworks. That is we wanted to see, and if we wanted to like, express it. And what's happening that is like maybe just I told it maybe the artworks can change it people's relationship. It's or it's like the mindset or it's, the way of thinking to it in other people's. Like it's my son is like 8 and 3 years old. And sometimes when I took them to the museums, I really need to take cares. And it's because these two boys is like it's like almost like chaos like me. And sometimes like touching everywhere and it's try to runnings and it's I try to stop them before they're gonna break some things. But it's inside with its our exhibitions with our installations. Like for example, like in a flower, the peoples, if they are touching of these flowers, it's more things that happens. It's more people inside. It's more flower is gonna showing up, and it's more people. It's moving. It's more flower is gonna it's like accelerated, and it's the petal is moving around and hold the space. So it's very beautiful. And it's another one. It's just like a fact. This is um, I, I hope it's you can see all this these pictures, but it's anyway. I remember this one is almost 6 years ago, 7 years ago, when we show it on in the Sarge Gallery in London's, and it's people think it's maybe it's like the install of it's a digital art. It's not super hard, but it's quite hard. And what we did is like most of the time it's that we are like work for like 3 days, 4 days, no sleep, no showers. It's staying almost living inside with this installation rooms and try to check out this whole artworks. And this time was also it seems I remembers almost 2-3 hours before the openings, we could finish up this the whole work to install. And I was it's like 39 years old, and I didn't get it any showers and no sleeps. And what's happened is like when we finish up this installings, I passed out. It's like I slept on the floors, and I was super tired, and it's I couldn't move. I slept like mad. So what's happened is, and it was in London's, and the people are so gentle. They didn't wake me up. So when the exhibition was opened, I was still sleeping on on the roof, on the floors of this our exhibition installations. And I got these pictures from these Instagrams. And what's happened is this is like it's me, like 39 years old, guys, is no showers, and it's just slept on in the street, slept on in the floors, but I didn't move. So many flowers around me. And it's what's happened is people took it in the pictures and it's uploaded on an Instagrams. And the people said it's like the hashtag, wow, beautiful or something like that. And it's but in fact, that is just only like very weird hairstyle. Guy was sleeping on the floors, but it's people started to think it's this is beautiful, and this like feelings is kind of interesting, and it's I also even think it's like this is beautiful, even me. It's so many flowers around me, and it's almost it's one part of its installations exactly. So maybe it's like we can be it's a little bit positives or it's a kind to do it's in other people's if we using of its digital technologies or it's digital art. It's like we can be it's kind or it's a little bit more like peaceful or it's like an open mind for the kids and it's maybe open mind for the the people slept on in the street. Actually, it's now in a cherry blossom times in Japan's. So I don't know reason why, but it's like we Japanese, it's we love drinking the alcohol sake under the cherry blossoms, and you can find it's so many like zombie or it's like so many people are just passed out on the street, too much drinks and just slept on in the streets. And if the Tokyo one is covered by whole digital art, maybe even these people can be it's beautiful. That is something it's we thought. And it's this idea is try to almost we started to think of this like bigger and bigger, and it's like we couldn't stop to think about that. It's maybe we can it's for us it's like the light is as like paint and canvas can be everywhere. So this one is now it's almost it's this year's it's 9 years. We started from it's very small, but every year started to make of it's bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's 500,000 square meters of its the gardens. The daytimes is like huge forests and the gardens, and it's like a beautiful mountains, like holy mountains. And there is a pond, but night times it's going to be like our canvas, and it's completely transformed to the it's like a museum of this digital art. So you can walk inside of this forest, and inside of this like some buildings, it's architectures people didn't use. Even we are a sub of this teas, and we are showing of this like quite many like very weird artworks. So like this is what we wanted to do is like the garden or its natures. It's also it's going to be like transformed to its one part of its our artworks, and it's this is just maybe only for me, but it's like this is quite huge gardens, like 500,000 square meters. So like we cannot see all these other people's existence, but you can feel of this, some people's existence because it's it's gonna affect it to the it's an artworks. So we're gonna see of the like I can feel it's some kind of it's a sound and it's a light wave. It's gonna come from this like this side. It means there is somebody's, and it's I cannot see them, but I can feel them, and I think it's kind of it's very beautiful. It's feeling of that, and that is we making of these exhibitions, and it's they have it's quite good saunas and spa onsens, and we showing just only the summer times, so it's from the July to the November's. That is what we are doing, and it's also as I told you, it's we Team Labs. It's like the very anonymous numbers of this like the group of this specialists, and it's we try to make a teams and it's create some things, and it's we called ourselves it's like co-creations. It's not individual creations, but it's you collaborative creations. We need to create something with sometimes mathematician, it's making algorithms, and it's software engineers and the CG animators and architects, and it's everybody it's become combines, and it hold their expressions, and it's making of the we call it's co-creations, and it's we believed it's when we create of this something of this digital technologies, it's co-creation. It's very important because it's one is we Team Labs, it's not including me. It's we are not genius, and it's we are quite stupid, and it's crazy peoples, and it's but still like there is no choice. It's like we are not Supermans, and it's we cannot it's see whole the programs and the CG animations, and it's everything at the same times, and it's we need to make a teams and it's to create something that is some kind of a fate or destiny of this and like digital creations. So like this co-creation is it's very important for us, and it's we started to let's say this weird the concept is and we wanted to we don't know this is a right way or not, the right answer or not, but we try to create something that's like educational project, and you're going to create this one word with other people's, you're going to touch of this like an ancient it's in a words. It's like each word has its like the meanings, like it's elephant or it's fires or it's like a horse. This is like illustration book, but it's yeah, like if you touch it fires, but if somebody touch of this waters, it's going to be disappeared, and everything is related, and it's made by the peoples, and you're going to create of this one word with others. That is something we wanted to do, and this is also it's something it's I like it quite a lot. This word is you drawings of this some creatures or it's alive, flowers or like this is like the aquariums. So you drawings of this some fish or it's life inside of this oceans, like a jellyfish or whatever. And it's going to be inside of this, this space, and it's you can touch it, and it's like communicate each others, and even now it's traveling around, like a tuna. They traveling from from Tokyo to San Francisco, and it's some Shanghai, and it's all around the world. Yeah, in real times, it's a traveling around what you're drawing, and this one is we started of this project. It's like almost 8-9 years ago. We started get of it with the son, our daughters. We became parents, and we really wanted to do something for its next generations. And I'm not against of it, like today's education systems, but we just wanted to create something. It's a difference. And this one is also, this is a like new concept. And these days we have very much interested in is like environmental phenomena. Last year we opened this installations. In daytimes, you're gonna see just only like wall, like 3 walls inside with it, like a small island. And even that island was before our exhibition, that was nothing. It's like just only a small like plants, and nobody touch it. And we just made of these ones. And this botanical garden, it's like a super huge. So this is one of these others. But this work is it's quite much. It's an explain of this, like what we wanted to do is this one is like a botanical gardens, and it's I think, or we think, we really have to think about how to keep of this environment. That is like its biggest concept of this our yeah. And you can see of it this weird vortex. See, and this is a little bit difficult to see it maybe of the now. Oh, now did you see it? With sensing of this like a bird, or it's like the creature is flying around its space, like bat or bird. Even night, it's there like fly, and it's we sensing of them, and it's actually they drawings of its the lines, and they are making of this the vortex. So if there is no like bird, it means if there is no plants under the trees, it means we didn't take care of this environment of this botanical gardens. The tree gonna die and the plant gonna die, and then it's in a bird doesn't come. So it's like that artwork doesn't work. So like important things is the if until we could keep of this environment, it's that artwork is gonna exist. But if we destroy of this environment, the old artwork is gone. That is what we try to create, and it's now is kind of this good season to work. In the summer times, it's a bit too many. It's like an insect and it's mosquitoes. So it's no hairs. So I bite it. It's so many mosquito, and that I'm not big fun to be there on in the summer times. But now it's maybe it's quite good timings. It's not super hot, not super cold. And just walk inside with the forest and a botanical garden, and it's to see all this a lot of it the plants. And of course, you can be there in the daytimes as like a normal botanical gardens, but night times it's gonna be transformed to the it's different things. And this is like what I'm working for these couple of years. It's called TeamLab Phenomenals. It's going to be open on. It should be it's like next year, 2024, in Abu Dhabi in UAE. It's just beside with it's a Lubu Abu Dhabi's, and it's and this one is also kind of very new concept. It's a same as like it's another botanical gardens, like environment phenomena, as we call. It's this is like a vortex. The vortex is a phenomenon, but it's a vortex is affected by its the shape of its the shape of its the ground of this inside of its oceans, like the position of this island, and even maybe it's like some kind of life inside of its the oceans. So this kind of an environment is going to create this vortex, but it's if you try to destroy of this vortex by it's a boat or it's a ship, it will work, and it's maybe vortex is going to be disappears, but if we didn't destroy of this environment, that vortex is going to showing up again. And that isn't a whole concept of this, and it's I really would love to show of it's this is like 17,000 square meters, and it's we try to create this whole the architecture tools. But what we create is first we create this experience, or it's like the artworks created by it's like the phenomena we haven't seen like that. And then it's how to create this that phenomena. It's we need a lot of the facilities and it's and the technologies. So we try to create this that rooms. And it's there is so many like rooms and it's artworks inside with this 17,000 square meters, and it's everything. So it's like the concept is enough environmental phenomena. So like from that an experience, something that we can even not see. It's almost like algorithms or it's softwares. But we try to make it in the earth. So we need facilities, and then it's like we just covered it's some like fabric. That is the shape of this like architectures. So the shape of this architectures is like very weird, and but because this shape is not came from it's an outside. It's maybe normal. It's an architecture. It's very obvious purpose. So it's create of this like an outside, and it's try to make of this inside. But what we try to create is like we try to create of this inside, and it's try to make of this an outside. So it's a shape. It's like quite weird, but and it's we are working for right now. So you can be in next year sometimes, and I really would love to share the what kind of the artworks we working for, and we're gonna show it, but it's not allowed yet. So please wait for that and check it out. And this is for the today's presentations. And thank you very much. And it's just one more things. And I was talking a little bit too much. It's now it's like in Japan. It's like 5 midnight, like 5 minutes of it's 12 o'clock. And 31st of that March, it's my 46th birthdays, and now it's like fourth day of its second day of this 46 years old. So happy birthday to me. That is all the exhibition, all the presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Takashi. Happy birthday again.
Thank
Or
you.
well, happy first day after your birthday, really. So,
Happy 47th year, yeah?
I
46th,
want to
yeah.
finish up this like my presentation on in my birthday times, but it's okay.
Thank you so much for this, Tadashi. This was really wonderful and very beautiful, examples that you've shown us. For participants, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in our Q&A or chat. I do have a question for you, Tadashi. I was really taken by the role of serendipity in the performance, and the two examples that you've shown. The one when people came and the exhibit could not start because there was too many people. And the second example when you just fell asleep on the floor, and I'm like, like everybody who works in arts can sympathize with that impulse. But just the notion that you were there and they let you sleep, and then the flowers began growing. I found it so telling, and so there's a sort of sense of mortality as well that was symbolized in that image. And I'm wondering, those type of serendipities events that you could not even stage them if you were thinking about staging them, they actually seem to very much fall in line with your philosophy and with the ethos behind your work. Were there any other serendipities, accidental stagings or accidental performances or accidental things that happened that you also remember that you could share? Anything else of that nature?
The question is, sorry, one thing is, it's now in Tokyo is like, it's like very much, it's a midnight, and it's normal me is like 100% is like this. I can answer it's quite many things, but it's like now I'm drinking of this medicines of this for this polar allergies, and it's my like ability is like 50%, and it's now still like my brain it's not work so much, and it's so. My question is, what is your question again?
Okay, no, sorry. I was saying that do you have any other examples of when something accidental happened in work that made it sort of very poignant, or that made it illustrate the philosophy and the ethos behind your work? Like the two examples that you gave us, I found them extremely beautiful. The example of the flowers, people killing the
Okay.
You falling asleep on the floor. The sort of accidental art was in addition to your intentional art, accidental art work was created by something that happened that you could not control what had happened. Were there any other instances where something accidental would happen that would create additional meaning to your work?
It's quite many things. It's like a super small things. It's what it's we try to. It's like a update and it's we like a small change for this in our works to make the like the people's like the experience. It's much more like the better. Like that was sometimes like we're like creating something. It's like the way to approach it. It's very much it's like in a scientific ways. It means we anyway it's created and it's something happens and it's watch the people's behavior and watch the something happen or it's in our artworks and we realize some things or we discover some things from that. That is also it's gonna happen, but it's it is not purpose. It's just only like it happens. And I think that I was very lucky, or I'm not sure I was lucky or not, but it's that story of this the too many people it comes and it's kill the whole the flowers. That was completely accidentally, and we just discovered after that, and it's like because it's not suddenly I felt something. It's like when the person to bring all these people to other rooms and they try to create all this the space for the other peoples. And it's I've never saw that it's like in front of this Mona Lisa's to ask to the peoples like, hey, there is it's too many it's people in front of this beautiful it's Mona Lisa's and it's like let's move to the it's another rooms and it's give it space for this and other peoples to see it. It's much more like one by ones, and so we can come back. That kind of stuff. It's I have never seen that. So like this two just fact. It just realize that it's us to make out it some like the sample like today's and if I try to answer all your questions, it's we found so many things over these 20 years through the like our activity of its expressions, and so many people, especially uh, like the software and the program side, or it's an AI, or it's like yeah, is of course it's something it's there is a bug and it's something it's like we can find something we didn't expect. But it's the most unexpectable things is like most of the times it's in the humans, and it's we are very weird, and it's it we didn't expect, but it's like they do, and like sometimes it's the visitors they do it's something it's completely we didn't expect, and it's these things is like at least for me it's quite interesting. And like my son is also same. If I took him, it's from this 9 years, 9 months old, and it's until now, and it's always it's like his attitude and behavior is full of hint of this, like our expressions. So the point is like we have it's like very huge concept or its name. As like it's our aim is like a new relationship between human and the world, and then what is the world for the humans, and how we are perceive of this the world, and how we try to why how we should express of this world. That is like our aims, but each artworks is much more. mm, the, I can say it's a concept. It's the last ones. like we try to create of this like the higher dimension. It means like a 3-dimensional of this like installations, and I try to take a pictures or it's a movie. It means 2 dimensions, and the concept is a text. It means 1 dimensions. So like we didn't work as like it's like advertisement companies, and I'm not against this advertisement companies. Don't misunderstand, but there is now the catch copy or it's like a text letters, and try to create of this higher dimension, the like happy birthday to me, and it's try to create of this like artworks for this happy birthday to me by 2 dimensions, 8 pictures, or like making of this like a space of this happy birthday to me. It's not work. It's going to be make of this like limitations of its expressions. I think like we cannot bring it like a lower dimension to higher dimensions. Always it's like a higher dimension to lower dimensions. So it's in that case means the answer for your question is like a concept on the philosophy. It's the philosophy is I'm not sure, but it's a concept, and the description is in the end of this, the last part of this artworks process. Yeah. I hope I could answer all your questions.
No, that answer. Do we have any other questions from the audience members? Ramona, do you have a question?
Yeah, I was wondering, because you stressed again and again about the and I'm really interested in this collaborative process that you're working with, and how many different kind of disciplines are coming together to create these environments and experiences. And I was just wondering whether you could speak a bit more about how you actually go about in that process, and how it starts, and how you pull in the different collaborators, and how many of them kind of come and go, and how many of them are the core group, etc.
That is good questions, and it's very hard to answer because it's briefly, like maybe at the beginning there isn't some kind of the visions, but it's second phase. Maybe we try to create of this or something. It's a prototype, and it's we test. It means that we're going to be sometimes inside of this that space, and if somebody felt it's like something weird or it's something wrong, we're gonna try to solve it. And this is like and it's again and again and again, and it's like almost normally we need it's like 1-2 years to create this one work, and it's we don't use of this like a presentation sheet to create of this artworks, and it's much more like based on our feeling. It is more because at least I believe something like a beautiful or cool or funny, or this part is something we cannot explain by words, and this is like, it sounds like a paradox, but it's we cannot explain by words, but this point is very important for the creativities with collaborative work, because of course, like architects, mathematicians, CG animators, and software engineers. It's difference. It's in background and difference, like in emotions. But it's certainly it's we feel it when you're inside there is something wrong, and it's, we try to solve it. It's until everybody is satisfied, even it's mathematician to the architects and software engineers, and it's we don't know what is solutions, but we need to change it and we need to solve it. And there's, I don't know, this is a good sample or not, but mm, it's my father is like an 82, and he's quite nice guys, but it's completely opposite of me and me, my brothers, and it's my kids. It's he's living it's close to my house, but it's so like we sometimes gathers and it's drinking beers, not with sons, but it's like they're like too young. So, but it's weird what I drinking in the beers, and it's my son is drinking orange juice or something, and it's watching of its comedies, and we laugh some like joke, and it's really laughing that, and it's like ha ha ha. And suddenly, it's my father told me, it's like, hey, Takashi, and it's like, why are you laughing about this? I didn't get the point. And it's he's 82, and his background is like a geologist, and he really want to understand. And I told him, it's like, I'm drunk with beers, and I'm very much enjoying of this, like these comedies, and at least I don't want to explain of this, like what is the point why we are laughing. But he's asking me again and again. But it's I really want to understand that, like now, except me, it's all of you is laughing about that. And it's you should explain. And it's like, okay. And it's I don't know, this like 20, 30 years, it's happened it's many times, but it's like, okay, again, so it's I try to explain of this this joke, and it's in the situations, and it's like why this joke is so fun for us, and it's I try to explain it like 30 minutes, 40 minutes between its him, so it's like a question. So like you are laughing about something, it's like that joke of this like 1 month ago, it was somebody said, and it's yes, and it's like why it was fun, and it's okay. I try to explain, and then it's what's going to happen is like after like 40 minutes or something, and he said it's okay. I understand it why you are laughing. Thank you, and I feel like I cannot laugh anymore, and it's totally killing it laughing point. And it's like if I could explain it's completely like perfect of this like the joke, and then it's like in the same times this behavior it's going to killing of this laughing point, and it's this is kind of it's like something which we sometimes want to do, but we shouldn't do that. It's only the creativities, and the point is how it's going to work on in team labs in the same situations is like it's what we are creating. It's not comedies, but it's like what we are creating some things. And sometimes, and some people said it's like, I think it's something missing of this ones. I cannot. It's like impressed, and it's like it didn't touch my heart, and it's enough, and it's okay, and I would think it's too like speedies or what's, and it's some like question and answer, and I try to solve it that problems from this each specialist territories. So it's the mathematician is try to change all of these algorithms, and it's a CG animator is try to make all this like their ways, and it's maybe color of this flowers. And architects also is try to change over some things, and it's of course it's the person couldn't get emotional feelings. He or she also is want to change the something part, and it's we combine again, and it's try to be inside, and it's I do think it's like it's changed from this not before, and it's like yeah. I think it's a little bit better than before. And it's again, it's another person said it's now I feel it's like it's something wrong with this like this roof. It's like a bit very annoyed for this, and I cannot. It's like a immersed feeling for this and artworks. And then it's like an against okay, so like how to solve that problems, and it's we do again and again and again and again and again. And
Okay. Yeah, I get that. I understand. That's thank you. That's very helpful.
All right. Thank you so much, Takashi. We really appreciate you visiting us. And I invite everyone else to follow our Transmedia Art Seminar series. And once again, we want to thank, I think, the Humanities Center and MetaLab at Harvard for sponsoring this seminar series. And we wanted to thank Takashi for visiting us and for giving this wonderful lecture about the work of TeamLab. Thank you again.